Welcome to the ESL Pro League here at the Intel Esports Arena. Coming up on today's show, we have got some more Counter-Strike for you. We're into our second day of our Super Week, and indeed it is going to be a long one. Lots of Counter-Strike to be coming at you. First of all, though, today we're going to be seeing more from the Danes. We are standing here in our beautiful studio live from Copenhagen. We do get to see some of the Danes doing their very best. In fact, it's Astralis that will be starting off our day here on the mainstream versus Big. They impressed us over at the Major, but what has become of Big since then? We'll be talking to our analysts about that. And in the evening, following that one, we get FaZe versus North. More Danes this time. It'll be the guys from North, FC Copenhagen representing, taking on none other than FaZe Clan, who are on quite the scary pace. Secondary stream, just briefly, LDLC will continue to try and fight off that bottom of the table versus a very wonky Na'Vi. And we get to see the Ninja Star from NIP try and take a slice out of the LDLC Fox. I'm joined by some beautiful faces, none other than Janko Paunovic and the ever-lovely Chad Birchall as well.
So many of those pesky Danes, Alex. I feel a day can't go by without us having either a Danish team or a Danish player. Even, you know, if you have FaZe, you have Kerrigan in there. Just the Danish talent is everywhere.
It's true, actually.
And we're in Denmark. Day 6, Intel Esports Arena. Day 6? Day 16. Day 16.
Yeah.
Day 16.
Thankfully.
Can you believe that we're on day 16?
If it was day 6, I would be pretty depressed.
Can you say 16 in German?
9.
I bet you can.
No, I can't.
No? Okay. I'll move on then.
You have to put like the 10 first, right? And then, no, the 6 first and then, I don't know. I don't know. I only count to 10. I can only count to 10. Just before we move on, Alex, can we get people to Photoshop us as superheroes for the Super Week? Hashtag ESL Pro League.
Okay, but you have to...
Because I want to be like the Hulk or something.
You want to be the Hulk?
Well,
okay.
I don't know.
So just quickly then,
you can be like the Hulk before he becomes the Hulk.
Oh.
Yeah, you could just be Bruce Banner.
Exactly.
I think that's who it is.
That guy.
Yeah. I don't know. But give us a superhero pose then briefly, Chad, and we'll start talking about
No,
some
no,
games.
I don't. No, they just
Give
need
it
to
for
use
the
my
Photoshop.
face.
No, here it comes.
No.
Hulk pose. 3, 2. Yeah,
Anyway.
that's what being put on the spot feels like. It's not nice, is it? It's really uncomfortable. Anyway, being put on the spot is exactly what we did for you guys at home with our Pace Safe MVP. Now, we gave you some names, lists of players who we thought were going to be the most valuable player, and this is what we have as our results. Coming in from the Pace Safe card MVP, it looks like there's a hint of who it may be. Yes, indeed, the winner of which was none other than Shox. That was your previous winner. You can see him there walking onto stage with his G2 boys. Getting to see just a little bit of what he was capable of over in Cologne. Now, with him winning, it's of course down to fan votes. You put 5 names, and you guys go ahead and vote on who you believe was the most valuable player over at paysafecard.com/fanvote. And these are your new names. Now, Chad, you've been picking these bad boys.
Yeah, you know, I just look at impact from players in really instrumental victories. Like, that's why we're seeing Dennis there. They've had a couple of upsets, you know, in September. We saw that towards the end of last week.
Yeah.
Config is a beast like normal. JW really helped Fnatic get to the top of the tables. Forest is rolling back the years. And then you've got Simple, who's the only man who's showing up for Na'Vi. So that's how we got to those 5 names.
Well, we know what Chad prefers. Scandinavia with the drop of Eastern Europe.
Yeah, it sounds like a good combination to me.
Well, Janko would put Nico 5 times if he could, so we're lucky I'm doing it.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, we are going to be talking a little bit about Nico and his teammates. In fact, you talk of Na'Vi as well. Guardian is a feature of discussion for one reason and one reason exclusively. Over the course of this week, it is a Super Week, we had to have some fun with it, other than Chad's attempt at being the Hulk. We also are doing crosshairs, a player crosshair every single day. This time, today, we're doing none other than Guardian. Ex-Na'Vi now rocking the FaZe shirt, and alongside Janko's partner in crime, Nico. And looking at his DPI, 401.3, zoom 1.2. So he's actually altered his zoom sensitivity, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not an AWPer.
I'm not sure if the default was 1.2 or default is... I think default is 1.2 perhaps, but in general it's a bit strange to have an AWPer with his zoom sense higher than 1. Usually it's lower than 1 because that way you make it lower than your actual sensitivity. Now, again, because of the field of view, it's different. It's not the same. If you put it 1, it's not going to be the same movement as your rifle sensitivity, right? But in general, yeah, that's why... AWPers put it lower so that you can have more feeling, right? More sense when you're trying to get those flicks. You want to make it as less random as possible.
His crosshair is quite fat, isn't it? Like, it's quite stubby.
It is. It's very chunky little squares.
Yeah.
It's thickness too. I don't know a lot of people who use it. But if I remember correctly, Guardian used to play on like 800, 600 res, which is incredibly low. That comes, you know, from the days of the previous game. I really hope that he upgraded to something like at least 1024 or 1280.
Can we do this? Let's quickly cover this, rehash this right now. There is absolutely no benefit to playing on a lower resolution if you have a good computer now. That was an old thing because you wanted to have maximum FPS, and so you'd lower your resolution.
I think it was just personal preference pretty much the whole time, right?
Why is it like? Why would you want to degrade your quality deliberately? Why is that?
I think initially a lot of players just translated what they played in Source and 1.6, right? And there you didn't go for the clean graphics. You went for what you were most comfortable with, and performance, of course. So gradually, I think more and more players started playing on higher res because they realized, okay, that's actually giving me the advantage because of so many little things on the map, so many different pixels that you need to keep an eye out for. And when you're playing on a small resolution, for example, the old Inferno, the fence and the head of a CT player, you couldn't tell the difference, perhaps. So I think that's why we see more and more players playing on high res.
Yeah, usually it's the old school players that are still stuck in their ways almost with their kind of, more, like you said, 1024, and et cetera, et cetera. Most people now moving into the higher resolution generation, and we are going to have, actually I have a New Year's resolution. That's to look at the standings every single day, every single segment. These are how they go down into our 16th. That's 16, Chad. I'll let you go ahead and jump in, and especially picking out the fact that this game for Astralis could be a big climber should they pick up both.
Yeah, they still haven't played a lot of games so far. They're in the...
they could join North.
Yeah, they have a position really to push towards the top of the tables. I think North and Astralis both going to want to be in that top 6 because the finals are here in Denmark. But we always talk about this. The interesting ones are really down the bottom of the table. Na'Vi and G2 and Mouse Sports, all, in positions I don't think any of us would have thought at the start of the season.
And if you look towards the middle of the pack, I think a lot of people, in hand with what you've stated about 13-14 is just, the likes of Big, Heroic, LDLC, they're not out of reach of those finals yet, Yanko. They still have an opportunity, if not in the finals, but to be comfortable.
I mean, statistically, they're not out of the reach for the finals, but I think in reality, they're not going to be able to maintain this type of a scoreline towards the end of the season. So, but obviously, they are probably feeling pretty comfortable that they're not at the bottom of the table, because when you talk about the likes of mostly LDLC, Godsend, Hellraisers, right, those are the teams that both Chad and myself pointed out at the beginning of the season that they're going to be fighting for survival. Heroic too, but some of these teams have surprised over the course of the season, not just in Pro League, but in general. Heroic had a string of couple of great performances, so who knows if this is a sign of things to come. They might mess up someone else's plans.
Yeah, and for the uninitiated, the reason why those offline finals are so juicy is not only is there, the prestige of being on that stage for the Pro League finals where all the greats have clashed in the previous seasons, it's also, that's where the lion's share of the money is, right, guys? I mean, it's like 750,000 of the total million, or close to it, is actually over in the UNSA.
Well, the amount I love money, you think I know the breakdown, unfortunately.
I had a look at it yesterday, actually. So I think it's 750 for those offline finals.
I think once you get so much, Chad, you kind of lose track.
That's hard.
Yeah, well, it's still a real kind of uphill struggle for Big. They are the ones that are hunting that, trying to return to what they had that little taste of over in Major. And I feel like we've had this conversation, at least other people have had this conversation, worth rehashing just a little bit here on the desk because it does add context, is putting Big's run at the Major into context, Chad. Is that something you'd be willing to do for us?
Yeah, I'll try to do it without harping on the jumping too much. But obviously, they played fantastically well on Inferno. They got a couple of big wins on there, and they were using an exploit at the time to jump over some boxes and not be visible, which no one likes to see. However, they were well prepared and they played a very good team brand of Counter-Strike, right? And this is one of the good things about Big. At the Major, what we saw from them was a lot of good moves, a lot of innovation. This is something we've been toting God B for in all iterations of the teams, and the fact that he can make a squad play as a unit. And that's definitely what this Big team has to do. Yeah. We even saw good performances at the Major from some of their players who were considered more support roles, like Legia. He had a couple of maps where he went off, Tabson carried, and now that we're transitioning more into the team in the online environment, we're seeing Nex show up a little bit more, become that secondary star for this team that needs to happen. But the biggest factor is, I can't mention it enough, is the innovation and the strategies that these guys bring to the table. They're constantly reinventing the wheel and showing a different face. And my question is, how long can that last? Because eventually that inspiration is going to dry up.
Yes, I mean, is that, you see you nodding, Yanko, just Godby has to run out of ideas at some point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, eventually it's very difficult to keep reinventing yourself, especially as a team that doesn't have the same firepower as some of the other teams, right? So you constantly need to find different ways of giving your players an edge. And the problem with the Big is you don't see them that much because they're not at a point where they're going to get invites for big tournaments. And in qualifiers, it's very difficult to grind out qualifiers. Like, even if you put a team like, for example, I want to say FaZe, but maybe not FaZe, but someone like North, we saw them not being able to qualify for Oakland, right? If you put a great team into 5 qualifiers, they're not going to make like every single LAN in that sense. It's very difficult to grind it out. A lot of unknowns, a lot of mixed teams and so forth. So I think that's the problem for Big as well. They have to constantly keep grinding and innovating at the same time.
Perhaps the same category as Envy. Would you put in? We talk about not as big a firepower. They have to try and reinvent themselves. We talked about Happy trying to reinvent his team. Big, a different category.
More firepower.
Yeah, I think the potential of Envious in terms of individuals, they have a little bit higher skill ceiling, but they definitely need to be innovative in the way that they approach the game. But just looking at Big and who they have to play, obviously we have Astralis tonight for them, which is a very difficult matchup. They have NIP, who is on the rise recently, followed by G2, who are going to have to come out swinging if they want to make those finals. Then Envious, who we've seen playing fantastically online, Na'Vi, and then North to finish it off. So
Jesus.
They have an uphill battle if they want to get back to those finals.
So, sorry, I am going to ask you to do that again because I want to kind of get these on my fingers. Like
Astralis?
Astralis, unlikely.
NIP.
Unlikely.
G2.
Maybe a split series.
Envious.
Maybe a split series.
Na'Vi.
Maybe 2.
Yeah. And North.
Okay, so they've got probably like 4, if not 5, maybe, in our minds, of course, everything does change when it's in the server, but in our minds, like 4 or 5 wins perhaps under their belt over the grand total of what is now 7 games.
Yes.
Whew, okay, so the outlook is bleak for Big to make the offline finals, but start here with an upset versus Astralis. Astralis have been kind of having a bit of a rough time as of late. They haven't picked up a win in all too long. Hasn't seen a win in that column for a while.
Yeah, Astralis on LAN, especially, it started in Malmö. It was the first time they didn't make the top 4 of a LAN tournament, knocked out by Gambit, and then in New York, even worse, they couldn't even make it past the group stage. So bounced back in the E-League groups, secured a spot in the playoffs there, and over the course of the Pro League season, they have been pretty consistent, getting the job done. And I think it's fair when you talk about other teams, the same applies for Astralis. They were probably a little bit rusty after that player break, I think more so individually than as a team, right? That's what they kept saying in interviews. We felt like our individual level has dropped off a little bit. Everyone needs to pick up the slack, play a bit more counter, and get back on track. I feel Astralis is going to become again, the contender that we know them for.
They can't fall off too dramatically when nothing has particularly changed amongst the team, right?
No, and when they play fundamentally sound Counter-Strike, it's very difficult to fall off, right? If you're a team that relies on gimmicks or just individual stars to step up continuously, you're going to have a rough time. But if you play fundamental Counter-Strike and you play to the current meta, you're always going to be very competitive, especially with the caliber of stars they have in the team.
And I also think this is where the actual organizational structure of Astralis really helps the players as well, having a good regimented practice regime, having that sports psychologist with them, just to say, hey, like, you had a break, it's normal, to drop off a little bit, nothing has changed, with the way you play or the individually and as a team, just pick up the slack a little bit, and there's nothing to be worried about, basically.
And here's a crazy one for you. We have not seen Astralis versus Big this year.
Or ever.
It's never happened.
No, they played. I think they played, like, the NRG members played against.
Yeah, but this iteration just have never met each other.
It's not a crazy statement, to be fair, because Big didn't really play at many
premium tournaments,
until the major, actually, and they got the luck of the draw. I think it's fair to say. So that's the problem, right? With Big, you had that great run at the major leading up to the major, right? In the first place, being able to qualify for it. But there's always going to be, with a team like that, it has to be done a couple of tournaments over before really people, consider them a top team, and then they can get invites to these premier tournaments.
There's no debate that Tabson is a star in his own right. Like, that guy's a beast, but it's just like getting the other parts of the team or the team working consistently to get those placings or at least make it into those tournaments. And when you're playing a team like Astralis on Overpass, which Overpass has historically been an amazing map for them, unless you have, you can throw everything in the kitchen sink at Astralis with your gimmicky strategies and your different takes on it, you're not going to beat them in fundamental Counter-Strike. And I think the Betway odds there were definitely agreeing with that. I think it was $1.40 for Astralis and $2.75 or something for Big. So the heavy favourites going into this one. But the problem is, when a map is your best map, it gets a little bit shaky, right? Because your tendencies, they get found out all the time. And that's something that I think we've seen with Astralis. They've lost 3 maps this season. 2 have been on Overpass and 1 has been on Inferno. So a little bit up and down there.
I mean, we do get to see Inferno next. So you've actually the 2. So you're telling me that the only maps that they've shown weakness on are the 2 they're playing today.
Yeah, and that was in the opening versus G2. They lost on Inferno on Overpass, where they were really coming out of that player break, and they looked very rusty.
Clunky.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Overpass was their best map. They were the best team in the world on the map. They had that one outlier loss against Liquid at the ECS finals, but and to Gambit at the major, but that was Mo having, probably the game of his life at the moment. So it's been a couple of weird losses for Astralis. I would still put them to be very strong on the map, but that affected their confidence a little bit. Again, in those interviews, they were saying, Overpass is a bit weird for us at the moment. We are reworking some things, we know it's a strong map for us, but we just need to figure a couple of small things out to get back on top.
So if, that's a big statement. You don't have to tell you that saying a team is the best in the world on a map, like that's very kind of a tale of grandeur. And so my question simply is, how much should they change? Is there not a risk that if you're having to change and, stay fresh, you're actually going to be hamstringing yourself and actually wearing away at what was so great?
I think the problem here is for Astralis, right? As Chad pointed out, they're so good at playing fundamentally sound Counter-Strike, and that's how you should play in general. But the problem is when other teams find out your tendencies and when they know you're going to play fundamentally sound. We saw it in the beginning of the year with the FaZe Astralis matchup, right? The reason why FaZe was able to defeat them a couple of times over and over again was because they were doing, going for some silly moves, playing like outside of the box pretty much, and kept surprising Astralis. So in that sense, they just need to keep an eye out for, are they playing too fundamentally sound? That will sound strange, but they need to be a bit more unpredictable, I think is the best way to put it, right? Throw something a bit risky every now and then, just so that your opponents know you might go for it, just so that they can't really sit back and say, okay, we know Astralis is going to start off with a default, take map control, and then go for some sort of an execute.
Yeah. There's something on this map that I think they do better than any team, and that's how versatile they can be based off of one Molotov. And you're going to see it happen time and time again, and I'm sure the observers can highlight it for us as the game goes on. But it's that Molotov that Zipnix throws towards the sandbag area at the B bomb site as a T. Now that's basically to isolate the map control, right? So that means the CTs can't push out into sewer, they can't grab control of that map, and if they want to contest it, they have to take damage or use resources on it, right?
Or boost and get your head taken off by Dupree.
Exactly, right? So there's so many different counters that Astralis, or different plays that they have in line. So from there they do the patented Astralis execute that I like to call it, that works for them time and time again, where it's perfectly dry run. They have the amazing flight paths, I like to call it, where they run in and peel open the bomb site with different angles of attack. And then they have one where they just basically throw that Molotov and Kirby just runs up behind it and picks into the site, catching them off guard. And they just have a number of different plays that they can do just based off one Molotov. And I think the versatility of that is amazing to see.
Now, you've intrigued me because we haven't actually used that terminology too often, but the idea of flight paths, we are almost ready for this game, by the way. I know you're probably chomping at the bit to see Astralis in action on Overpass. But so flight paths, elaborate on this one. Is this not something surely every team that does dry runs has, is like, everyone knows what you're watching? Can you explain a little bit about what you're referring to?
So it depends on the execute, but basically when you run a strategy onto a bomb site, everybody knows the lines they have to run, and the reason that the entry fraggers run those lines is to open up the angle so that CT has to peel off to a different direction so he can be traded on. And if you run those flight paths, what it should do is open up, the hardest possible crossfire for the CTs with the utility that you're using.
Assuming everything goes to plan.
Exactly. And eventually you're going to learn how to counter that and use your utility properly, or play around the smokes a little bit better. And this is where you need to try and reinvent the wheel or throw different strategies. And that's what I think that Astralis do well, is they can be versatile at that.
It's not exactly the same rinse and repeat. I push here at this second, that flash lands there.
Little timings, little tweaks like that. Even if it's just like, you throw all the Molotovs and smokes and you might run in just before they land. You see that from time to time, teams doing that on train especially. Sometimes you could run in a couple seconds later and they might think it's a fake at that point and use all their counter utility, and then you can run into a free site.
Well, it does sound very scary for Big. I think that's pretty clear from what the guys here at the analyst desk have been saying. Just before we do jump into game, Yanko, I give you the ever so fun task of how would Big win this?
I think it has to be a matter of, them having a good start, the usual for the underdog, right? They need to have some room to make mistakes, or basically, some room to work with, when Astralis is definitely going to pick it up. They're the kings of the grind as well. You can never really count them out. We saw Astralis on some of their Overpass losses. Something they were really good at before was not getting picked off early and playing that default and then ending the round with an execute. But sometimes they did get picked off early. So maybe if Big starts with some aggression, try to just, disrupt Astralis a little bit, that might be something that could, give them an edge.
Okay, well, we'll see if that edge does pay off, because we have some edgelords waiting over at the casting desk as well. For Overpass, Astralis versus Big, it's Henry G and Sadakist.
It is Sadakist and Henry G. That's what we normally call ourselves. You're first, I'm second, right?
Depends on who's top and bottom, really.
Well, that's the age-old question, isn't it?
Really is.
We'll
Who came first, the chicken or the egg?
It's going to be Big versus Astralis. We'll get to that later as the night unravels, I'm sure. Big, certainly the underdogs here, I would say. But they did have a decent run at the major. Astralis did not really. So it's interesting to see whether we can maybe have a bit of an upset here. And it's an Overpass as well, which at one point was the map everyone was saying Astralis are unbeatable, and that's T-side especially. That no one could touch him. But recently, it hasn't been as strong as we would have thought.
I'm going to say a bit of a slump, considering we thought we were going to have an Astralis Ara. We did not get one of those this year at all.
After winning the E-League major, nothing really happened for them. Obviously, top fours, you can't really say they had a bad year, but still, it's not as dominant as we are hoping for. And we'll get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Big versus Astralis. It's going to be the Danish side on the tees. And they've got one smoke, one flashbang, and they're going towards a connector from what I can see so far. Going to be one player holding towards middle, and that's Glaive. Got the P250, which we're seeing more and more these days. And the T side.
I've always liked the P250.
Yeah.
It's got, you know, short but stout and deadly. It's all about the stopping power.
Well, that's true.
Tabson doing the jump thing that we hate to see because someone's going to take his head off. You know it. Dupree as well is in the game, who's always good at that shot as Key's going to back off big. Being forced inside of the A side already as Ipix gets a lot closer. Caribbean Device head down long. Good shot to open it up by Device. Godby does respond, though, onto Ipix. Tabson stays in behind the truck. They're going to double the same position with Godby trying to play the left side and the right now because he's lost Tabson as well, and it's all Astralis exploding into the site.
You're saying Dupree can be good at certain positions. He certainly does a very good job of making his way onto the A-bomb side there. Nice, simple execution. One smoke deployed, the flashbangs used, and it's going to be Astralis running over big there. Only one kill picked up for the German side. Didn't really get much done at all. They actually had players ready and waiting on the A side as well, just couldn't hit the shots, and sometimes that can be a bit of a problem for this big side. If players like Tabson, of course, and Kiev can start stepping up, Next can be a very good fragger as well. They can be a dominant force, but some days it's quite lackluster. We'll see what they deliver today. Very early days, of course, but Next gets the first frag there from short. Refrag comes in. It looks like Zipex will have full control of the B-bomb site now as Glaive goes in with the UMP, trying to hunt down any sort of frags he can find. They might just save their upgraded pistols here. We'll have a look. There's still a 4-on-3. A little bit of time to explore.
Everyone loves a good old day to explore. Bless you, Hank. No one could hear you sneeze, but I still felt obligated to bless you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Glaive and Device closed the round. Not much to say. Pretty straightforward. They did lose 2, but they had a bunch of SMGs.
It wasn't
made some money.
The full investment there by Big, so it was to be expected. Like, we're seeing that more and more as well. We've been discussing it. For you are just joining us, it seems like a lot of CT sides are not force buying fully into the second round these days. Just getting the upgraded Deagles, and we'll see if that works out for them. I think it does make a lot of sense. If you're going to get a 1 Deag, it's normally about AK bullets hitting you first, so that does kind of resonate with me somewhat. There will be USPs here, and Godby with the HE. Maybe a stack, and indeed there will be, towards the B-bomb site. I'm not sure what the HE can really do for him here, but Zipex might go down. It's a nice little shot there, so you get the 5-on-4, falls back as well. That's the way to do it. Get that advantage, fall back, hold the defensive line, and wait for the mistakes to come through. The reaction from the CT side.
I don't mind the positioning, the double sort of angle to allow entry with Kiev and Next playing kind of a passive-aggressive angle on sandbags, but just rely on accuracy and people going that direction, which they're not. They do get some accuracy, but it's later on when Godby decides to push toward construction. He's getting a kill. Bomb planted on A as we watch over toward B, because that's where all the CTs are, and therefore that's where the action is.
Oof, just about stays alive there, Device. Good news for him. Didn't invest anything that round. He's got like 8k at this point. Coming to the first gun round, like we said, the CT's not fully investing. Kiev brings out the AWP nice and early, and this is much better. You can see Godby, this is where he needs to be. He hasn't got the stars to really work with here, to have 5 M4s, no head armor, no kits, no utility. He can't really afford to do that, I don't think. I think they rely quite heavily on having the grenades, having Kiev on the AWPs. This makes a lot of sense as to why they don't force buy in the second round, and we'll see if they can hold off the likes of a B-rush as Kiabi is going flying in through the fire, looking to open things up, and indeed he will not, apparently. It's going to be Legia fighting back with the incendiary. I thought Kiabi had that for days, but now we put the man advantage of the German side, and they bought themselves some time as well.
Buying time, buying space. Device in the sight, 3 versus 3, and It's very unfortunate that there's no one left on the B side as Tabson's going to rotate around behind them. A chance for the flank and a retake, but there's only the kid on Gobby, so he's got to stay passive. And Tabson, yeah, get wrecked. Dupree takes him down immediately before he even gets anywhere near the site. That's pretty much going to do it.
It's interesting, the device is still alive, and Dupree has the AWP now. It's a secondary AWP for Astralis, but still Keeve gets a frag in return, and we still have Molotovs for the bomb. I don't think the defuse will be coming in here, but a decent attempt by Gobby as he burns alive. Dupree, like we said, secondary AWP, but the nade out. Oh, it's a disaster.
How does that end up winning? How does Keeve get in there in time? No, he's not the one with the kit, but I think he's still got lots of time to get on it. Gobby died nearby. The fact that Dupree caught off immediately when Tabson was making a lot of noise toward T-spawn, I thought that was the end of it, because then Gobby wouldn't be able to bypass Dupree. He misses a single shot, like you say, and then it's a disaster. It falls apart.
He was too focused on utility there. There's no need for that. What did he think he was defusing? I don't think he would have heard that for sure. Bit of a panic there, just trying to buy himself more time, and Keeve can't believe his luck, finds a player with his nade out. If you're ever in doubt and you have no idea where the CT is, just keep your weapon out. That's normally the rule of thumb. That is a bit of a misplay, but still Astralis with plenty of cash here. They can actually fully reset. Big going into this round. Keeve keeps his AWP up. He can see the UMPs, the Famises coming through, and M4 there as well. Tabson feeling brave, as we have described Dupree. Normally very good at that shot. Should have been a kill, though. Keeve missing out narrowly there. Extended really the T before the flash even went off. So I guess the idea is behind that, he goes around the corner so fast and the flashbang goes over that CT is supposed to be turning around, right?
Yes.
And then they get the kill, but Keeve definitely had the chance to take that one down. Doesn't work out for him.
With that, Lagia gets a bit impatient, starts to try and find his way out toward water. Checks behind the bags because they were late to arrive. That's clear. His teammate continuing to jump. I can't wait until Tabson gets his head torn off in that position by Dupree.
Yeah, he hits it at least once a game, so he'll be coming.
Sorry if I'm a sadistic type of man for saying so.
That's true.
Keeve. Flash out. Fortunately, fully blinded himself.
That's fine.
But he still has the angle because he's pushed them back off it. That's pretty easy.
The little mittens.
Little mittens, little booties. Keeve. He's going to make 2 shooties.
You're already running with that, aren't you? Well, there we go. It's going to be a couple of kills.
Because we're such cuties.
Kills for Gobby now. Well, that should be the round here, but Astralis are fighting back the 3-on-2. The bomb not going to be planted just yet, but time ticking away, 9 seconds, and the CT's not taking the bait just yet, but there it is. Zipex through the smoke. Oh, my goodness. Out of nowhere. It seemed like the round was done. They go for the fake plant there. I didn't think the CTs took the bait, but apparently Zipex is finding all the shots through the smoke. Here's Keeve opening things up, but this was irrelevant towards the end of the round. 2 kills, great, but Astralis still come out on top there. No bomb required. Zipex through the smoke. Those are the kills I would like to see if we could possibly grab them. As we get into round number 6. PD50s, CZs, and a 5-7 there. No arm up, no nades, and that's the reset. Astralis back on top from what seemed like an impossible situation. Zipex, that second kill through the smoke especially.
Well, a decent kill from Zipex to find the win, but it's Glaive that's going to take straightforward action against Pistols to start off round number 6. For Astralis, again, T-side, you mentioned it. It was formerly a place in which they were dominant. Been struggles lately. This game seemingly to greater effect. Big's been impressive to start off their Pro League campaign, their debut in the Pro Leagues this season, Season 6. But up against a juggernaut in Astralis. Remember Astralis last year, by the way, though. They didn't even make playoffs. They had such a good start, and it fell off tremendously. North actually topped the league going into the finals.
That is true. It was weird to see that we didn't actually have Astralis at the Pro League finals, but for this round, at least, it's looking promising for them. It's going to be round number 6 and a 4-on-1 situation with Lagia. 5-7 towards Bank. Shouldn't have much available to him. Does some damage, to be fair, but Zipex does take him down. Money's still in the bad place, Matt. Like I said, it's like kind of double weaker territory. Well, 3.5k per player. I have to take a partial buy here. And we've got the replay of the Zipex kills on the site. That's what I wanted to see. You love to see it. The flick to the smoke, just the awareness that a player could be there. Obviously hearing some shots or a footstep just blows his head off. The snap to the head was lovely to watch. So that's good we grabbed it. And it will be a little partial buy here. 4 nades. It's an airstrike setup coming in from Big. Flashbang, from what I can see, towards Monster, and then maybe nading through that area towards Shore, potentially. What's the play? Nades are going in, but no damage inflicted yet. Still 3 nades up. Another 5-man stack towards B. They start to fall back and peel off towards the A-bomb site. tabseN, yet to really see him make his mark here, Matt. 1 for 6, and arguably one of the most skilled players on the server right now.
Yeah,
like he is.
Lights out this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. For considering like where he came from, the experience he had in CS:GO. Like,
in Mouse Sports, he was kind of eh.
Yeah, he was playing for Penta, and he merged for NRG. That's when he came on my radar, already. Remember that?
True, that was at Counterpit.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
They need to bring that tournament back and just book him and give him like 10 minutes.
I agree.
Per segment to do his thing. Like, people I remember even as we were hating at the time, but then you look back and say, what a legend.
Yeah. The first day I was like, you gotta be kidding me, because the guy took himself very seriously as well. But then by day 2 I was like, all right.
He's killing him. He's killing him.
Real bloody war right here on this stage. That's not even the accent. KRV starts off well again on the take. Pistols won't be able to do much. He just runs and guns, but Kyiv shuts down KRV. Only to the effect that Device will then walk in with distraction and take over to good effect.
I think. There it is. tabseN coming to life now.
That makes it interesting because Kyiv's picked up a rifle, but they're going to smartly back off and not contest any further inside of A. Bomb goes to B. That should ensure the round goes the way of Astralis. dupreeh wants to anchor the rotations and making sure. In fact, they're going to get the AWP picked up now by tabseN, and Kyiv already heading along to try and save. And tabseN actually hits dupreeh, who was, I was about to say, positioned very well for those saves.
Gives Kyiv the AWP. He's the main AWP, and he's got low HP as well, so it all makes sense. And tabseN, no stranger to the AK-47. They don't really need to hunt for any more frags. Sure, to keep Astralis honest, but at this point, they want to make sure they start establishing their own economy, keep those weapons in their hands, and just try and stay alive here. But Zipex, he's coming in. He can smell blood in the water right now. See if he can get anything done. 2 towards long, but taken down. Keeps doing a very good job there. Watching tabseN's back. He's in a pretty audacious angle as well, standing in the open, but like I said, never really going to check that. It's not a pre-fire, and tabseN comes out on top. Still 6-1, but some damage inflicted to the Astralis economy. Didn't have to work too hard for it, holding towards long. Big now can bring out a decent buy. I think he can go double AWP if they want to. It's like it's normally double AWP. You don't really see it that often. He's got the AWP for now, though. I noticed it does come out. Well, there it is. You don't see that often, but for now we are going to.
Yeah, that's not common.
There's the Molotov Chad was discussing. We're going to steps towards short. Still the CD's pushing. Doesn't get some basic map control here. And glaive is going for the dupreeh shot. Doesn't quite get it, though. There's an opportunity for it.
I think there's going to be a lot of those opportunities. tabseN seems to really enjoy jumping there. Point in case. Case in point.
There you go.
Whatever. All the same. Same the all. The double AWP on this map I've always found actually is quite viable, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Having 2 turrets on either side and then a mobile fragging unit. Chaining the setups up. Definitely can work. Easy shot for Kyiv. Good angle. Takes on KRV. Fall back now as well. Wants to throw a smoke just to make sure he's covered as he falls back. Doesn't want to give that man advantage away. And it's up to Device now. This is known as one of his absolute best maps, and we've seen us have some absolute monster games as they go up towards short right now, trying to get the playing field level.
Watch for the fact that dupreeh is at the ready before the peaks actually are exposed, so he has an angle that he could take advantage of. Jump by Nex, I think, reveals that he is up close. Watch for counter flashes. They come in through now. glaive, you saw it on your screen.
Yeah.
Was able to walk in and take down Legia. The fact that they put so much attention toward dupreeh on the sandbags meant that they overlooked Monster. They just walk in, but it's Kyiv and Nex to get response as Nex has the bomb down in front of him. Little does he know, but has to watch the platform. It swings wide to do so. Device is preoccupied watching window, and Nex is perfectly positioned. It's now the second round, finally, for Big.
They get the opening pick towards long. KRV that goes down actually has a funneling effect on Astralis and makes them head towards B at that point. They go for a very basic execute there, trying to surprise the CTs. 1 flashbang over, KRV and glaive running out towards long areas. I beg your pardon, KRV got picked off earlier. As glaive ran through, he got a stunning shot on Legia, who had the secondary AWP, and I thought that was the round done, but then it is. It's going to be Nex stepping up. He is one of the secondary style players, I'd say, next to Tabson. Manages to have a really nice performance there and actually break the money of Astralis in total. They will be partially buying into this, from what I can see. That's about 3.5k, but it might not matter. Glaive opens things up. He rushes the connector, takes down God B and his device with the Deagle. He has been quiet this game so far. Takes down Key. Well, Key takes him down. And now the 4-on-4 comes through. We have got a weapon picked up for Glaive, though. That's the M4A4.
Glaive at the ready as well. Toward the bathrooms to see if they can get any further advancement. Impressive at a 6-2 scoreline. I think did I say 8-2 last time?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it may be.
I might have. The aspect ratio of our TV kind of throws me off. Hope I didn't, but if I did, I apologize. 6-2 scoreline, but I was about to say it's impressive that they've broken down Astralis' economy already. They haven't broken down the round, though, because Kiarbi finds 2 on a Deagle. Glaive suddenly opens up to get Tabson, and he can be the one to fight forward and aggressively to hold off the bomb that is now planted and run back with the M4. Good news is Legia's got more HP than the other two combined. He's got a kit, he's got armor, he's got smoke. He's going to get aggressive. Missed shot. Kiarbi down to 1 HP. Legia.
He's doing everything right.
He's going to go onto it. He's just going to hold it. And I think he's going to get it. He is. They think he's off it. They don't think he's got a kit. Bit of a misplay, I have to say, from Astralis, considering the work they did.
Yeah, that is a little bit confusing, actually, because he did jump up above the smoke. And when he jumps down to tap the bomb again, he's not going to have time to bounce back up and do that. So it was a little bit weird they didn't go for the full spray. At least commit one of the players, man. At least someone has to take the risk, and at least I think the M4 needs to go down at that point, and then you've got another 5 seconds to work with, at least on the bomb. Maybe a miscommunication. They've assumed he'd be going for another fake defuse. That was a bit of a blunder, but still, that was an eco. Still brought it down to 1 player. They've definitely wounded Big going into the next round. Win this one, they probably take them down to a full eco. So, although they don't win, a disappointing result, they still have some success to find here in round number 10. Flashbangs towards playground. No real aggressive play from the CTs as of yet. I guess they don't really have the tools to do so against the likes of Astralis. Just want to hold back and hold crossfires, deploy utility, and try and read the situations correctly. This time, Kiev at MVP towards long has had relatively good success, I have to say. Finding the kills he needs to, falls back. Hasn't given too much away. He's currently on 12 kills. I think he is top fragging. He is indeed 11. And Legia 1 for 8 at the bottom there. Top performers are Glaive on the other side. The bottom will be Kiarbi on 4 for 6.
Breaking things here. Dupree waiting to see if anyone's going to get boosted up at the site. Bomb at the ready for Zipix to pick up. Smoke and Monster spray through so Glaive doesn't get heard. The bullets disguise the footsteps. He gets close. They never expect him to be so close based on the angle. Next does get the response, but Glaive found the entry that his teammates desperately needed to find their way in the site. And in the site they certainly are, as Nex has to back off, drop down inside of the water. From Nex, Dupree. Immediate trade this time. He won't be able to control the ramp in quite the same fashion, but it's still a 3 versus 3, and yet no bomb plant. And Molotov will hold Zipix off. This gives Godby a better chance to rotate in behind. Another trade. 2 versus 2, and I think Godby's going to win this round.
He's just calling for his teammates to wait. He knows he can cause damage here, and Astralis have no idea he's coming behind the monster. Guaranteed kill on device. Down he goes, and now he knows exactly what the second one is as well. The bomb goes through. Dupree to win this. Surely not. It's going to be Tabson to find penultimate, or final kill actually there. And Dupree drops. So very nice flank from God B. You could see the teamwork coming together. Good communications as they come through. Tabson didn't overextend and allowed God B to at least get 1 kill and get that intel. And as soon as the bomb went down as well, they know exactly what the second player is. They can pincer him together and win the situation. 6-4. Good job by Big. They're actually getting into this game now. Avoiding the reset as well. That's a very important factor. I was going to say a big deal, but you know, it doesn't really work on the server. It frustrates me.
Device. Waiting for his opportunity. His chance to shine.
Glaive hoping he can take down anyone boosted up, and Tabson is coming back in. Don't think he's going to jump up at this point. It's holding up in the B site. This is a little partial buy from Astralis. No one going all in. You can see an AK there. That's in the hands of Glaive. He had a bit more residual cash than his teammates. They've taken themselves down to about 2k. A little bit more for Glaive. As they enter 4th stage lost bonus next round, I'm going to get $2,900. So, still fine.
Glaive on his way to the site with Legia waiting. A WP far too easy. Dropped temporarily in there around the corner. He misses the next shot. No, he doesn't. To take it back. He still hits Dupree, but it leaves him sitting in the open and easy to take down. Kiarbi therefore picks up an AWP, which he will welcome, considering his hands hold that of only a pistol. Low HP though for Tabson means pistols might be sufficient. He's got to get away from the tags that are holding him in place in order to get the bomb, and a location that's plannable on this again is Gobby undetected.
Yeah, waiting at the sandbags now as well. Kiev, his teammate, coming from the CT entrance. So Gobby, once again, a pivotal factor. They've got plenty of time at, well, I said 30 seconds at this point, and they will be taking down Gobby. He had to try and do something there. Had no information. He was hoping a plan would come through. They wouldn't check it, but there it is. Astralis bounce back with a little partial buy of their own. It will be 4 pistols there and 1 AK-47, overwhelming that B side. Sure, Legia gets 2 kills, but they didn't have the advantage for long. Great trades from Astralis. They made their way towards the site. Some basic utility dropped, and then didn't really have time to allow that flank to really work out. Gobby frustrated there. Maybe had to be a bit more aggressive to force the issue, but now double orb set up to Vice and Zipex, believe it or not, on that secondary orb. I don't think I've ever seen that before. He goes towards Monster. I guess the position he holds, it makes sense. And this will be another eco now for Big. 7-4, round number 12. Still plenty of rounds to play with here, but Astralis presumably going to be winning this half. I think this is to be expected. Sure, they've had their issues on this map recently, but I don't see a world where Big take down Astralis. To be fair, as the analyst said, this is the first time Big have ever played Astralis. Like, ever.
That's actually pretty neat. I feel like Big would have a bit of an advantage there.
Well, I guess the main thing is, as Django pointed out, they don't really go to any tournaments apart from the major. That's the only big tournament they've ever been to, right?
Well, all the tournaments they go to are big tournaments. But I really wish production would just have that ready for me sometimes.
It would get overused.
It would.
The button would break.
Yeah, it's true. But my God, we'd have fun breaking it.
It's true. Well, 5-on-4, double up setup. I guess working out. Zipex hasn't really been tested. He runs into B by himself. All right then. Doesn't want that all for long, but he does make it work. He had a bit of a backup from short. Let's get 1, but looks like that's all he'll get. 4-on-1 situation. Got B with the USP. It's going to be 8-4. Quite a simple round there for Astralis as Glaive finds the final kill. And money's still not great. This could be another eco. If they force this, that could be the rest of the rounds going in Astralis' favour. I think they just take the partial buy here. What do you think?
I think on round 13, based on the fact that Astralis now have 2 in a row and you're about to get a bonus, I think partial buy is the only option. You're about to get a 3rd round bonus, I should say. Enough of a bonus to buy.
Yeah, especially when you've only got like 3.5k per player. Force that one, you're not getting over around this half. That's a nice nade though. Zipex, not known to be an AWPer. Goodness, that was close. Over the shoulder.
Kiev. Cruising for a bruising. Because he's probably going to be losing. And the fact that he's only got a pistoozin.
I think he gets his kill actually.
Alright, fair enough. Listen, calm down. I was having some fun. His teammate nearly gets rid of him, though.
It's just a bit sloppy from Astralis, I have to say. Like, they're not really checking anything, and Device is running around with AWP like that.
Yep, that doesn't make sense. You have Glaive right there and a rifle. You've now lost 2. To a player who killed one with a pistol, picked up an AWP and took him back.
They look so blasé because they're up against pistol. They're not checking anything or running proper defaults. In a map they're struggling on right now. They haven't won this game. Need to tighten it up a little bit.
Because right now it's loose like Wizard's sleeve. As Glaive heads to the site. Finds a nice shot, to be fair. Next, who tried to counterpeak the fact that his teammate had pulled the crosshair to the right. He snaps back to the left. Glaive follows up on top of that by getting Gobby. He now has 3 in the round. 1 for Kiarbi, 1 to find Legia last alive.
Yeah. So even when you're up against pistols, you have to remember you're playing CSGO. It's not like 1.6 source and you can run around against USPs and have a real fun time. People can buy PD50s, CZs for a relatively modest investment and cause a ton of damage there. If you're not running correct defaults, then you deserve to lose frags like that, like just running around your AWP, up long, like knife out, and a really kind of key choke point on the map, like in their bathrooms, then it's understandable how you can lose cash. But we're coming to the closing stages of the first half, not a big deal. They still managed to win the round, get 9-4 on the board, and no orbs this time, going for a double orb setup on the T side to not a single orb. So maybe this suggests they are going for one of those set pieces, maybe that B-side one. And we'll be trying to deploy the classic Astralis strat. All 5 players do head towards B. Device and Dupree. Oh, Dupree. Yeah, it's going to be a B rush, I think, here, Matt. Called it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go, Kirby. Not going anywhere, though, because he's got too many flashes.
Retreat.
Yeah, let's not go. Back off. Dupree's holding water at least, so they won't be counter-pushed by anyone rotating around. Gives them the opportunity to fall back as a result, but that was a bit awkward. It could have been very costly.
Well, they did bait out a lot of CT utility there.
Fair point.
That's something. They've still got smokes themselves. There's not a single smoke out for the CT side or an incendiary. They did have not... Oh, goodness, taps in. He's brave there, isn't he? I guess he hasn't been punished yet. So no one really knows what's happening now. See, the setup's not ideal, but we have got a boost coming through. And Tapson known to have a quite the snappy aim. Finds one out of position. They will be coming towards B now. This kill for sure going in Xipex's favour. Could get a double as well, which he certainly will. And now, next, last line of defence, actually going to be Tapson. And the trade's okay, but it's still a 2-on-2 situation.
Still a 2-on-2, but bomb going down. That favors, therefore, Astralis.
Yeah, it's like an extra man.
Exactly.
In many ways.
Yes.
In some ways.
In some ways, yeah. In specific ways. As Xipex watches back the flank toward T-spawn, smartly so, because there will be company, or at least opposition from that position. Godby, he's being patient as always, relying on Kiev to start it off, hoping that again he can be undetected, trying to go for the late lurk. Dupree, though, shuts down Kiev. Godby does find one on Xipex, but down to 13, tagged as he is, backs off, has to concede double digits for Astralis. They'll go 10-4 as we head into round 15. And money, it's not amazing, because it's going to be only a 3-round bonus built up at this point, as we mentioned. 4th round, excuse me.
Bit of a peculiar round there, I have to say.
4th round makes it a little bit better than I thought it was 3rd. I miscounted.
It's okay. You do your best.
You do you. I'll do me.
So yeah, last round obviously you have to buy here. We'll have a look at the B side. We'll break that down. Who's playing there? So it'll be the Gear 3 for 13, and 2 of those kills, 2 of the AWP. That's and a round they didn't win. So that's been a bit of a problem for them. Next has been playing well in that position, so they have kept it together somewhat. But still, this has been pretty disappointing after getting 3 rounds in a row on the big side. Haven't really made that much of a dent. Looking like they'll only get 4 rounds here on the CT side of Overpass against Astralis. It's not looking like a map victory for me, but they have been struggling ever since the major. After the player break, I kept saying I think they're one of the few teams that can't really afford to take a break. They don't really have that sort of talent pool, like the natural talent. They rely on nurturing it and making sure it's always ready to go.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
So I don't think they could afford to take a 1-month break, and they came back looking really shoddy, but still, getting back into this round. Next does get 1 and brings it back to a 3-on-3, but the damage has been inflicted. You can see Next down to 42. And Kiev, he's okay, 73 HP, but they just don't really have much firepower or any nades ready to speak of. And Device, he looks a bit mad himself. He takes down Godby, 3-on-2, and now the CTs have to be segregated. It's going to be Next, playing towards A. Of course, Kiev holding the B-bomb side. He's in the connector right now.
Next gets more aggressive. Glaive swings by the top of the stairs. 11-4 would make this almost a certainty for Astralis. Still a chance, of course, for Big. Let's not rule out statistics and percentages.
Their T-side executions, they're known as one of the best strategic teams in terms of innovation and what they bring to the server. Like, you can't argue with that. And Glaive's feeling a bit brave here. This will give away Kiev's position as he hugs a player in the smoke. That's a bit of a shame. Pretty much guarantees he can't win it now. Why would he check that area? He has no kits and no idea where they are. So there it is. After a nice spell of rounds there, 3 in a row for Big, they only get 4 on the board total. It just wasn't good enough. Astralis looked very comfortable, having a bit of fun at times as well. Their defaults weren't exactly on point, but I like their set pieces and what they were doing in the earlier stages of the half. I don't think Big can bring this one back, but like we said, they are great on T sides. Maybe they have some special tactics they can bring to the table and show us what they're made of. We'll find out after the break.
Well, as we sit in Copenhagen, so too does Astralis, and they sit comfortably on an 11-4 lead over the German team Big.
It's looking pretty good for them, isn't it?
It's not bad, you have to say, especially where they started out on the T side of Overpass. They swap over to start that defense.
Yeah.
That's kind of like defense.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. If Astralis win the pistol, I'm afraid that will be it. It's very unlikely Big will pull this one back, but if they can get the pistol in their favour, I reckon we might get the double digits for them. We'll see. Here's the ADR for Glaive, not looking too bad, 139 for him, 21 kills in one half. That's like, that's like sick. If I say 20 halves, like, sorry, 20 halves, 20 kills in one half, that's considered like godlike mode. So that's
20 bomb and a half, yep.
That's not bad. Here we go then. We said, very innovative team. They're going to have a smoke, a couple of flashes here. No upgraded pistols. Decoy though. Maybe something will be brought to the table with that, but look at the CTs pushing off towards short. You can see their X-rays. BTP and Kiabi having no idea that all of Big Side are waiting past the short pipe. As the flashbang goes in, I think they might have a good run of the site here. It's Zipex to defend.
And defend he shall. Flashes over. Zipex trying to stay alive as long as he can. Second flash is going to cost him space and shots to give a position away. Good wrap from Nex. In fact, snapback as well to find Glaive walking in from jungle. Dupree gets the first kill in return, but Gabi is waiting. He's a pest, isn't he? He's a real pest.
Yeah.
He waits again for people to walk into his crosshair and lurks. It leaves us with Dupree. Remember, Astralis won pistol number 1. This would split the pistols 1-1, even though Kiev goes back over toward A. Dupree is actually closer to A than he was to B, so we'll see if that gives him any chance at all, considering he does not have a kit.
They have planted bankside, though, which is a bit of an issue for him. No kits. Hopefully he can find a kill or two just to boost the funds. I doubt he can win this one. Nice play from Big to actually make their way towards the A site after showing so much presence and waiting for the rotations in the B site. It's Nex looking likely to finish things off here. Dupree does find one. Taps the bomb, but Nex and CD spawn presumably takes him down. There it is. Final kill comes through, and Big, like I said, if they win the pistol, they probably get to double digits, so we might have a game on our hands here. Do Astralis force buy in the second round? If this was a super serious big LAN game, I would say definitely don't. Let's keep this lead you've got. Let's make sure we get full utility and the orbs out, but they will be force buying here across the board. Everyone fully invested. Device is as well, I believe. Yep, everyone all in. Deagle head armor for him. Scout for Dupree, of course, trying to secondary sniper order thing.
You fancy Device sometimes on a Deagle?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It is interesting again that Dupree's the one on the scoot rather than Device again, excuse me, on the sniper rifle.
I guess this is what the Pro League's all about. It's kind of working out new strategies can work in efficient environments. And
Deagles already.
They're trying to make Dupree the secondary sniper for sure. But kills coming from Big. Not really much this round's going to bring for them. But Dupree, there it is. It does start to work out for him. And it's flanked from Zipex as well. If they buy him enough time, he could cause some damage here. They're coming back towards T-spawn though. He has been detected. Takes a ton of damage and will have to fall back. He's some presence towards Connector as well, so he is locked in, being pincered. This should be Nex to take him down any second now. Easy does it. 3-on-2. Dupree and Glaive remain.
It's interesting to think that it would have been all possible to win the round had Device succeeded to get Godby after he was attempted to be baited in by Kiabi, but round done in the end. Dupree can't really amount to much. Kill for him on the scout, kill for Kiabi to start it off on the Deagle, but it's Astralis that still sit on 11, whereas Big find now their second round of the second half.
3-0 should be quite comfortable as well. This will be the full eco from Astralis. A chance to farm some cash here. Potentially set themselves up for a little bonus round with the 3 UMPs, and Keith just on that USP as well, looking to get the AWP out in the next. Absolutely fine considering he's got head armor, and Astralis certainly don't. He can pop some heads off and duel toe-to-toe with Astralis here. They didn't invest a single dollar into this round. That's because they went all in on the previous. They will certainly struggle to get a full buy up. They'll have M4s. That'll be about it. Device will not have the AWP unless he finds 1 kill in this round.
He backs off. Smokes go down. He has to keep himself alive near the disco. There used to be club music in that door.
That's true. I remember that.
It's a little underground club. That's probably where I'd hang out. We do know how to find ourselves a good steel door club.
Down he goes. It's not Device to get the kill, but Glaive picks it up with the USP. And now the bomb has been planted, so they get 1 kill out of it. Normally in a full eco round to get a kill and pick up a weapon, that's normally something. 2 kills might happen as well. Next knows he has to be a little bit careful. It deploys the HE grenade. Does a lot of damage as well to the face of Dupree and Zipex. And they're just trying to take him down here. A little shooting gallery set up. Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole. What a game. What a game. Used to hate losing at it, though.
Can you lose?
You know, when you're like 6 years old, yeah, you definitely can.
Well, you just don't hit a single mole.
You're a little slow, all right? You're wondering why you missed, so you hit the hole that he's already disappeared from. He's already come to another one, disappears again, and you just get really frustrated, and then you just start hitting your mom because she gets mad at you with the thing, and she's trying to stop you, and you just hit her instead. And then you get grounded. You get to go home. You don't get the ice cream from the fair. You don't get the prize. It turns out to be a horrible day, and it starts raining just before you leave.
Yeah, I really hate it when that specific scenario happens to me. But I know I got over it. Sounds like you did as well.
I never had that happen. Just, you know, heard from a friend.
Yeah. Well, let's give you the first gun. Like we said, Astralis are certainly a little bit weak in terms of the buy. Bonus situation for Big as they make their way towards that B rush. But Zipex ready and waiting. Gets one, but that's surely all he'll get. Kiabi backs him up. Smoke's deployed, but it looks like Astralis got a firm grasp on round number 4.
A firm grasp. Additional smoke deployed. You must construct additional smoke grenades. As Zipex does spray down to find Gabi. We go up to 12 rounds now for Astralis. Not too bad, getting closer. 7 rounds for Big, not to be discounted considering Astralis is good on Overpass.
Very good. Maybe not so much recently, but that was the bonus round. They had leftover SMGs and the first one they brought out the AWP as well, just trying to make a fast play happen, knowing that the CT's force bought in that second round. You want to say it's a 5-man unit. You want to overwhelm them, and when they don't have the incendiaries as well, B makes a lot of sense. But Zipex, Kiabi working in perfect tandem there, managing to get the first 2 frags, isolating them with their own smoke that they did have. And maybe in those sort of rounds, you can think after, well, maybe we could have bled them out and then attacked. But with the surprise play, try to get in their face with the UMP, didn't really work out for them. So we have another gun round here. And round number 5, the opposite out for Kiev. The money's always going to be great after a bonus round. He's just trying to damage the CT as much as you could, but Astralis still with a healthy setup here. And a couple of AKs thrown into the mix as well.
Gabi. Inching his way up toward the bathrooms. Outside at long, however, so not where Device can see. They've got to be a little bit cautious of the fact that Nagia, has gotten closer. The jump across to Kiev, see it. Double jump, definitely did. Definitely did, and he's got an op. He's trying to line this up. Now the question is, does he go or does Legia go, or do they go at the same time? Doesn't matter, Kiev just hits it. I'm surprised they didn't move when he got jump peaked twice. Because now Legia gets behind them. Dupree has nowhere to go. This is just a bit slow to react, I think, and a misconsideration from Astralis, if you want to call it that.
I think Device just made the call that I don't think he's seen me, sort of thing. He was just like hoping, well,
it's possible. It's possible.
He might also see AWP as well. Like if he could have, he just saw the legs jumping around, right? So he didn't realize he'd get that wrecked in that situation. But there it is. As soon as that kill comes in, the gear pounces. He finds the player boosting. Obviously, you're going to know 2 players are there. It's not a position you can sit in by yourself. And it's just very well read there. Good stuff by the Big side. And that should be a pretty harsh reset as well. We've got about 2k per player. And if both of these guys survive, that's Glaive and Zipex, we still have a buy available. If they both go down, probably has to be an eco here.
Probably has to be. Again, because the bonus round was played by Big. Gotta love a good bonus. So they'll cease on 12 for now. And in doing so, we wait a little longer to see if they'll close things out. Glaive 25, you mentioned that in the first half. Did phenomenal job, phenomenal dog. That's what I almost said.
Phenomenal dog.
Jaden's clearly on my mind.
Like what he said. If Astralis managed to keep 2 alive, they would probably be okay, which they did. So they have the AK, the M4, and a force buy around it. Astralis win this. It's going to probably be ending pretty soon, but if Big take it, it's going to be a full eco for Astralis. Like I said, double digits, very likely, maybe even more than that. 1 kit available. Lucky incendiaries here. That's a big deal on the B side of the map. Means when the final commitment comes in, that's when you normally see those deployed, just to buy some time. This is looking like a B execution now for Big. And Nice Molotov towards the barrels as well. You can see that's making CDs panic a little bit. They're dropping everything they've got. It's 1 minute 13 remaining. And that was not the final commitment from Big. So the B players, Zipex and Glaive, now have one flashbang between the both of them to actually hold off a B execution. They've called for backup in the form of Kiabi. He's got no nades either. So this is looking very good for the German side.
Shot from Tabson to start it. Zipex, meanwhile, spots the shadow of an aid going over, sees that it's landed on the site, and expects that they'll therefore be executing toward him. Gap in the smoke is almost perfect for Glaive. Kiarbi finds one, and Glaive decides probably should just start firing and hope for chance shots. Unfortunately, he's now lost Kiarbi. He's got to save some ammo for the wraparound play by Nex, who is successful. So too is Zipex, but they give up the site and leave it to a 2 versus 2 on retake.
2 versus 2. Zipex gets isolated at short, but this fast play from Monster makes a ton of noise. Takes down one just about. That's Nex dropping up to Kiev, the AWPer. They know exactly where he is, but can he do anything about it? No nades to work with. AWP in hand. Knows his players towards short and Monster. It comes down to the timings here. Can Astralis separate him and make sure he's not looking at the correct position when they finally commit as well? Molotov comes through. Do not have a kill available here. Astralis needs to start moving a little bit quicker. Nade is decent, and in the face of Key, but he hits the shot, and now just trying to buy time, and that could be it. He needs to hit this very close range shot, but he might have just done it, you know. Bomb's ticking away. They haven't got the kill, like I said. He has to just go save. Yeah, he does. It will be Key picking up the round, and that's a little bit of a disaster there for Astralis. That 2-on-1 waited so long. I think they just had to choose a time together. Just when they had that set up, and they know it's Key that's planted the bomb, just say 1 minute, or we'll go after on the count of 3, we'll go together and face at the same time. He's got an AWP. He can fire one bullet like a turret, right? They waited so long for him to give his position away and deploy the Molotovs and everything. They just had to just get in together, I think, and go for that refrag, considering they had no kit. They save an AWP, but Big right back in this map now. CZs, 3 of those for Astralis. I think they force around this AWP. They do indeed, and it's Dupree with the M4. And they keep winning these rounds at B, so why not? Big going there once again. Contact play this time, not using any grenades at all. In they go, one flashbang, that's all it'll take. And they're going to be trying to find the first kill at the B side. Smoke up towards short. The gear opens things up. Zipex smoked out of the side as well. This one might be done already. This could be a save right here, right now, because they don't have the firepower to really justify going for this round. I think they do save. Very well played by Big. Perfect call.
This is starting to look good for their 2 sides as always.
Knowing they've applied so much pressure on this B side, they keep finding those kills and the weapons being saved on the other side of the map. The players that don't play here. And this makes a lot of sense from Big. Contact play this time. Very basic. 3 players towards Monster. 1 flash goes over. In you go. No one watching it at all. You know the money was weak. They did save an AWP. It's not a common AWP position, the AWP, right? You'd be connector, middle, or long. Those are the main AWPing positions, so why not go towards B? You can take the AWP towards Monster, but you're not finding active frags there. It's not a key choke point at the very start of the round. So it makes sense for Big to go towards B. And in they go. Didn't drop a single kill. Not really any damage either. Everyone survives. And now, there it is. They're on the chase. Astralis falling apart a little bit here. They save the M4 and the AWP, but they keep forcing into these rounds. They need to be very careful now. They save a CZ as well, and they'll take a pause. They have to work out, is this worth it? Device and Dupree can drop a couple of UMPs for Kiabi and Glaive. But is that enough to win the round? Device, he's been good. 14 kills, 15 deaths. Not the worst performance, but he's hardly been lighting it up. Next to 20 as well. Kiev, 20 kills. Glaive, 25. He did come into this half with 21, remember, so he's only got 4 on this half.
Yeah, that's not amazing. It's a bit slow. Astralis only the 1 round. As you see it, 1 and 7. Nex and Kiev together, though, that's pretty impressive. Considering Gabi's on 9 and Lagia's on 6. The fact that they're in this game, 2 rounds between them now.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
They don't force up. They try and use what they had in the previous round and save the cash. I think that's the right call here. They still have the lead. It's fine to let Big tie things up, but they can still win this round. Device this time towards the top and middle. His teammate Kiabi dropped though, trying to take the attention away. It does work to some extent. Device gets the kill back and not moving back just yet. Knows he has to work a little bit harder here. Have any chance of winning the round. He needs to actively try and take another player down. Does follow them towards B, so he can probably read that and give the information towards Glaive and Dupree. Dupree's covering the connector as well, so they do know that it's likely Monster and short they'll be heading towards.
so good, though. The 1M4, along with the AWP. If he can time this right and get behind all of them.
It's too late.
You think so?
Yeah.
If Zipex and Glaive can hold it off, if the AWP gets in position, maybe a better chance, but losing Glaive already, Device is going to have to be very, very swift.
Maybe he has got a
chance. He might get this. He's going to be behind 2 of them already. Oh, he goes early and misses the second shot, thankfully. Gets the encouragement and bravery to go back out to find it. Device holds off. It's just 1 remaining.
Wow.
The flank is perfect.
It is.
Say that again, Hank.
If the flank was perfect.
I'm sorry,
you like
I
that?
had to. Yeah, I had to.
It builds to the suspense, though.
It's true. No, you're right.
It does. It brings it in and say, wow, he had no chance. The timing was off, but his teammates did do a very good job. I think there was one flash deployed that just delayed them slightly. He missed the first shot. He only gets 1, but that's enough just to throw a complete spanner in the works. Everyone's going to start panicking at that point. And that was not even a force from Astralis. That saved AWP in an M4. Didn't force into it, saved the money, and now got himself in a very strong position. And towards B again, all 5 players, and Device will be challenging this time. AWP drops the incendiary, means he can go and peek the corner if he wants to. It's Glaive that gets the first shot, though. No commitment from Big as of yet. Device, with that advantage, well, I don't think he has to be there, and rightly so. He falls back. He can get back towards A at this point. They found a kill on this side of the map, but Big will be committing. Zipex to be challenged first.
Found and delivered. Taps it on 2 on entry. It's down to a favor for them, down to just 3 remaining Astralis players. Flash to the window as well as he wraps around. He could hold off the stairs. Next gets aggressive as well toward the water. Sees the door open. And Astralis again are going to get 1 and then shut down immediately after. Or are they? Dupree, good find to get next. Can start the charge toward the site. Device will do the same. The retake certainly has potential. Flash time to allow Kiabi to back his way toward the sandbags. Smoke out. Kiabi, remember. He walks back in and gets taken down by Gob-B to allow Dupree in.
Wow.
And a retake successful. Kiabi, remember, was the one chosen for this team over both Config, Magisk, Volda, back in the time, and he was on Now North and Dignitas. He was lights out. Yeah. And he's developed into a stable player on this roster, but never the breakout we might have expected.
He's not a superstar anymore, like he was in Dignitas. I think that's a fair statement. Like, his biggest event of the year, well, of his career probably was the E-League Major. That's when he played very well. I mean, he thought, okay, well, maybe he's found his form now, but since then, it still hasn't really...
MVP of the Major, by the way.
Yeah, right, and that's 100% correct. But since then, it hasn't really been as consistent, hasn't really carried on, and you feel like if Astralis did get the addition of someone like a Config, can you imagine that? The firepower they'd have then?
Geez.
Like, yeah, that would be unbelievable. Like, Kiabi is normally put on the scoreboard these days, and
do you think
right now
Config would balance in with this roster, though?
That's, I'm basing it purely on a skill level.
Yeah, of course.
So
I find Config almost a bit like Simple in his unpredictability.
Yeah.
And I think, as we've seen, Simple's had trouble having teams work around him.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But it's sad to see Kiabi not live up to the potential we know he has. Like, they had that one amazing event, which they won the Major. Of course, that's the most important one. If you can win that and have that sort of form there, like, fair play to you. But anyway, round number 10, 14 to 10. And this is the force spike from what I can see from Big. Yeah, all in. 2 Galils, or 1 Galil in AK, and a few CZs to work with. Kiabi does get 1, but taking down a double kill there. Astralis giving away more than they had to. 2 frags for Nex. He has been playing very well this game as well, I have to say. Nice to see him find some form. 4 and 3. Still all the work to do here for the Big side, but I'm liking the look of this. Back towards B we go. They've already got 1 player that's either smoke on the bomb side as well. That's Legia.
Shot. Legia does get Glaive down. Good find. Zipex, however, as he transitions as well. He's got to get back toward jungle if he wants to get a reload in safely, which now he will. Bottom of the stairs doesn't go to jungle at all. In fact, they're going to back well out of the picture. Bomb is dropped inside of the site. 2 versus 2. Gob-B sitting with just 10 HP. But it's Device that wants to rotate around to get the AWP to the heaven instead. And there's not any smokes left on the terrorist side, so he'll have a shooting gallery should they line up. Oh, missed opportunity on the low HP. Device at least gets 1, but Gob-B pulls it back. Gob-B's so low. And yet Zipex cannot find the shot required. Tagged through the wall. He'll go down to equal, or just about. Fair play level, around 18 to 10. And Gob-B might surprise. I thought he was going to push.
Gob-B's normally so smart in these situations, but he's up against one of the world's best clutches, Zipex. Gob-B not known to be a huge fragger, but he can be very smart and intelligent in these sort of decision-making.
I think Zipex is reading the fact that it's Gob-B as well and not budging. Oh, and that's going to do it. Gob-B's got him. Oh!
No way.
He thinks he's on the other side, though. There's still a chance. It's 1 bullet. If Gob-B still gets this, I think he still does. Oh, yes, he does. Certainly does. Zipex didn't read which side he was on.
Well, there we go.
It's a battle of brains.
It was. And got beat. Like I said, he completely duped him at the start there as well. The fake plan was perfect, but didn't quite wait long enough. Zipex took the bait and then some, but there it is. Godby still wins the round. And it's still not clear who'll be taking this map. 14-11 Astralis. They could have finished it off there. A Galil, an AK, and 3 CZ. They got out-dueled by Nex with the pistol in the sewers area. And the orb comes out, another force by here. This could be the unraveling of Astralis now. Lose this round, the double eco. It'll be 14-12, and Big could actually tie things up. This is proving to be a much better and closer game than I expected. Like we said coming into this one, Astralis and Big have not actually played each other ever. It's the first ever showing, and Big making a decent run of it after the half at 11-4. It didn't seem likely they'd make this a good game, but they've turned things around. We said that T-sides can be good. The tactics usually there. Godby makes some decent calls in terms of the economy situation as well, bullying that B bomb side where they seem to have weaknesses to Astralis right now. Force spy comes through, a CZ for Glaive. Dupree just on the SMG. The orb comes out for Device, but he hasn't had one of his superstar games. Glaive finished a half on 21 frags. He currently sits on 26, so he has had some drop-off in form as well.
Unfortunate for them, it certainly has. We wait, Device out toward long with the AWP perched upon the flowers. And they're going that direction slowly. This could be it. Oh, flashed off. Device has to back away. Looks for an additional angle. Post to protect the shoulder, and a gap down between. No one's going to peek. He'll back away to the site. Device, meanwhile, is still patient, but smoked off. Has Zipex beside him to play. Immediately from Parkside, they've rotated over to Dupree early, so it's an all-in call on the fact that this will be an A hit from Big, and there's a possibility it will. Everyone's there, to be fair. No indication of anything else going on toward B. So it'll be a straight brawl. Execution and confusion to cause chaos. Could throw off Astralis when the entrances do arrive, and Dupree's rotated back off, given that they have not seen much more. No information. This is a problem for Astralis, because it is all about getting information on the CT side of Overpass, and they've not been able to do so. Zipex tries to now. Nearly gets a kill on Lagia. He won't know it, but he's done massive damage. The problem is he's giving himself away. Good flash through. Glaive goes aggressive. Just the CZ to work with, but they know he's in the corner. There's not much else he can do. Tries to swing to make up for it, but unfortunately, it's Astralis that go down a man early. Good find Device. They know where he is. Wrap around behind the truck. No chance. But his teammate, Dupree, I was going to say pushed through the smoke at the right time. Couldn't shut them down.
Could not shut them down, and that's the entry Big were looking for. The ace sites working together. The smoke's going down as well. Kill by kill. They started to overwhelm the Astralis side, and Device, the last line of defense there. He did have Dupree to work with, but he had the AWP. And we saw Device get one, but swarmed. And he was taken down there. Dupree in the smoke. Could have had a chance to do something with it, but like I said, lose that round. Could be potentially double eco. They will be able to buy next round, but it won't be the best. 14-30, presumably, after this full eco. And Big, they've got Astralis on the ropes now. No real stack coming in for the Danish side. It's the default setup with the USBs. If they get even 1 or 2 kills, that'd be a minor victory.
Big did win the minor.
Yep.
Speaking of minor victories.
Yeah, they did do that.
Godby, meanwhile, starts his way out toward long. Glaive is there. He's in the bathrooms, but only with a pistol. No investment at all. I'm surprised Big has drawn this so close and so dear. What a game. Having a good time. Traveling at the speed of light. They call me Mr. Celsius. Celsius. Whatever you say.
Mr. Fahrenheit.
That's American. I'm Canadian. I'm Mr. Celsius.
Okay. Fair enough.
Aggressive as always from Zipex, but I don't really think there's much to read into this round unless something goes completely
They've got 30 seconds here. If something does go horribly wrong, this still has potential to be disastrous. He's spotted them go towards B now. They can rotate in. 20 seconds. It probably will be fine, but there's something that could go wrong here.
Down, Licky is tagged. Could go wrong. The smokes do hold off the pistols, though. That's the bigger part. Bomb is dropped. 11 seconds. They've got to get to it to get the plant. Keeve's the one that's going to pick it up. Glaive's going to spot the fact that they are trying to plant it, and they're trying to deny it, but they just missed on Keeve.
That was the one.
That could have won the round for them alone, but they're not done yet. Xyp9x in a one-on-one versus tabseN. tabseN knows he's behind the smoke. He has no armor, and he's still yet to pick up a gun. He's trying everything, including jumping above the sandbags. If he had found Keeve, this was already done on time alone. It does get sloppy. Very sloppy. tabseN resets his aim just in time.
Oh, there it is. I could see that one beginning to fall apart there for Big. They win the round, and with their money, they're fine. It's not a big deal either way, but still, that was an uncomfortable situation to say the least. But when tabseN left on 1v1 with Xyp9x, the silent USP, no armor, no nades, no kit, he knows he's won. He's not going to lose that. So it was fine in the end, but it just came down to that bomb being planted. If Glaive gets a flank in, we're really got something to work with there. But here we go then. Device just trying to get match point here. He's trying to do everything he can to get an opening kill. And once again, Astralis look a little bit lost here on their CT side. Haven't really got much together here. 3 rounds in total. Only 9-3. Again, it's the first pick once again, but good flashbang there. dupreeh mops up. 2 headshots coming through. They have the man advantage. Good recovery from the Astralis side.
Recovery. To a man advantage, as Nex has the bomb still in, not his possession, by way of in his inventory, but it's certainly there.
It's in his reach.
His grasp.
Yeah.
His supervision. Speaking of supervision, do you have any superstition?
Not really, no. Nothing.
No. Next goes, spots, oh, good shot. Xyp9x behind the barrels, but dupreeh on top of the wood. Makes it better for Astralis, and the fact that they also found a kill just before Xyp9x went down, so it's just tabseN to find. They know he's there. Jump up on the boards. Yes, okay, crosshair placement goes. I didn't actually think. Good time to toggle off the X-ray. That dupreeh would stick around for more. Glaive closes it out. It's map point finally for Astralis. And I do say finally because remember 11-4 at half. Big, by way of managing the economy and winning out very crucial rounds, has made this a close affair.
They certainly made it close, but those can be the most disappointing games to lose. It doesn't really matter how close it is. So we get 16 rounds first. If they take it to overtime, that's something because they get a point. We discussed that yesterday. New Pro League rules in Season 6 that if you go in an overtime game, you only get 2 points to the victory and 1 point for a loss. So if they get that, then they've achieved something. If they just get the 16-13, doesn't really matter too much in terms of the league itself. And this could be the final round. Big 2 AKs, 2 CZs, PD50, but they have 1 round of less. They managed to do it with a Galil and an AK before. They've got 1 better this time. It was Nex who was opening things up with the CZ, and the CTs not going high progressive. I've got Glaive at the end of the monster tunnel. He could be pushing through and had a chance to get a kill. He probably gets taken down here, and now they're giving kills away again. Wanted to try and find the opener, but gave it away. And the second one comes through as well. Overtime could be a very possible prospect here, Matt. 5-on-3 once again. It's Astralis feeding them frags.
Nobody likes to feed. Heard Alex does that in that game you guys play.
That game. We can't promote that here.
Ah. Is that actually a thing?
Yep.
Oh. Well, there you have it. Didn't know that, don't know where I was going to go with that.
No. That's stacked towards B. Just trying to take a gamble, just hope that A is going to be fine and no one will go there. But unfortunately, that's exactly where Big are going to go. That's round over. I'm afraid in overtime looking likely. Astralis will almost certainly save the weapons here. They've got a full reset the face if it loses this round. They took the gamble, stacked at the B-bomb site. They've heard the shots now towards A. There they go, off to save. Take the Orbital to enforce, and this has not been an easy game for them. I said it before, they have lost to less, and they had 2 AKs there, 3 pistols, and it's Kiabi that it didn't really seem like he wanted to fully commit to that pusher monster. Like, he had a look at the corner, didn't fully check the deep side of it, and then he finds one, gets surprised, tries to fall back. I think at that point, you know you're not getting back from monster, right? You know how long that is in a straight line. Even if you drop a smoke, like, there's no way you're getting back. You just need to commit those kills and try and at least take someone down with you. I think that was a misplay. And that's when you spot someone there, just try and do what you can. Get a kill. At least drag one down to hell with you.
I try to do that every time.
Yeah?
If I'm going down, you're going down with me.
It's a good way to be. They will save 3 weapons here. That might be the only success of that round. That was pretty shocking. They're not really looking as dynamic, the CD side, and kind of having that flair they usually have, and devices going on every single sector of the map, opening kills up. No one can contain him. Even the world's best Overpass can't shut him down. He's looked very quiet. And it's big now. 1 round away, like we said. If they make overtime, that's a victory in itself. They get a point in Pro League against Astralis. I think if anyone tells you can get a point off them, probably take it. Especially if you're an underdog in a league like Big. So take a pause. It's Astralis now. Working out how they distribute the wealth. They save 3 weapons. Going to try and work out who gets what utility they need. What can Device do? Maybe he needs to go towards B. That's where Big have been focusing pretty heavily. Round of 30 coming in. I didn't think we'd see 30 rounds after 11-4 scoreline. Just didn't think a world of that would be possible.
No, absolutely not. And this becomes a very irritable situation, I'm sure, for Astralis, given that they want to just close this out and get on to map 2. They've only got I was about to say USP. CZ75, excuse me, for Glaive. And we get underway for what will be the last round of regulation. Inevitable. But do we get more? Device already out toward Statue. It is a bit of a bad smoke, but he still has the angle. He's looking for it, doesn't go for the bench. Very fast from Astralis all around that it's cost them early, big time, as they go down. 2 players, and we aren't even at a minute 32 yet, and Nex is going to open up the site. This is overtime. No way. I can't see Xyp9x winning this in a world. He does get 1 for relatively little HP in exchange. Spots a shadow, finds a second. Hold on, because the rotation's arrived, and Device on the AWP is suddenly in position to jungle. There's too many smokes for him to have an angle, but they've slowed down Big. In fact, they've backed them off entirely.
Stop the presses. We might have a round on our hands. Xyp9x stepping up. They go back towards the A side, but Device surely gets that read. He is heading back. We could have something here. That was looking very amateur from Astralis at one point. Not checking it towards the connect. Had nothing really covered, but here we go. It's Device, the last line of defense on the A-bomb side. Brings it into the 2-on-2. Has a chance to spot 1. He gets his kill. It's pretty much guaranteed. He knows he's behind the flower bed. Drops a decoy.
Interesting.
Just a bait out of shot as well. That's how a decoy should be used. Just as it fires off 1 shot, bait them out of position, then you peek after that. That can be a really intelligent way to use it. Back towards B they go.
Oh, Xyp9x, the timing. Timing was off. Keeve, he did such good work. Finally, Device does get Keeve down.
Here he comes, Gob B.
But it's Gob B, who's so good in the slow play to go against Device. The man who nearly got taken down by the decoy bait. He was legged, and the leg shot could be enough to haunt Device after such clever work. He and Xyp9x have pulled it back, and Gob B's got it. Times it to perfection. Device had no idea he was on the site, and it is overtime indeed.
Overtime for sure. Well, there we go. Device, it seemed like the perfect play. One of the most creative ways I've seen a decoy used is drop it on your feet as they know exactly where you are, and he's trying to escape. As soon as that shot goes off, bang, that's when the T's going to try and move. But surprise, you can't, but he legs him. If he hits that kill, like I said, it's over. But he only gets the leg in, and it's Gob being another 1v1 up against an AWP as well. The HP becomes irrelevant at that point. It stands in the open, not an angle with Device is going to be expecting him out. And there it is. Big have got themselves a point out of this map at least.
That's insane.
And they've removed 1 from Astralis. They can only get 2 out of this now.
What a great last round.
That was looking really poor from Astralis. Like, usually if you push off towards short, you have like a boost set up and you have players watching towards connect or maybe an AWP behind you, and then you can focus on the short tunnel there. But then he's got completely wrecked by flashbangs. They just look separately. They weren't really backing each other up, and then as soon as Big saw that, I was like, well, if you're going to give us kills again, we'll take them.
That's the difference between you and I. From a technical standpoint, that was an atrocious last round from Astralis, but it was exciting.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I enjoyed
it was good to watch, but like, it just seems like Astralis, they definitely got a lot of work to do on this map. Like the set pieces on the CT side, when you've got like a pick in mind you want to get, and normally you have setups. These two people here, you have the AWP watching this, we deploy this smoke or this flashbang, the stopper's getting picked from here. It seems like that was just off the hip. It's like, okay, well, let's rush short and see if we can get a pick. Like, nothing was really used to prevent any sort of frags going against him. Anyway, here we go. Frag charts coming in. 31 kills for Glaive. It's not bad. 26 for Nex, 24 for Keeve. Gob B, only 15, but he won some very important clutches there. 2 1-on-1s against some of the best. And he got into overtime as well against Device. So we'll let him off for the low frag chart. Should be getting into this overtime momentarily. It is 16k, which makes things even more exciting for you, Matt. You're going to see all the AWPs, the auto snipers coming out. And MR3, so it'll be the first to 19 at the top of your scoreboard. 18-18, we do it all over again.
18-18, we do it all over again.
Toilet break probably at this point.
Yes, same as last night. We had an overtime last night in our Swedish affair. Our Swedish...
Derby?
Nah, the Danish derby works because there's alliteration. Our Swedish... scrimmage?
No.
Doesn't really sound that great. It's not really a scrim, is it?
Swedish scramble?
Scramble? Nah, maybe. I'll get back to you on that one, Hank. Stay with me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Stay with me, Hank! Hold on! You're gonna make it!
We're gonna make it. Let's hope that Big can hold on to their current form on the T side. They're looking very good. And it will be round number 1 here. Orb comes out for Kiev. 4 AKs around him as well. We did say Big could be deadly on the T side. It's where they usually do their best work, and they've taken Astralis to overtime and overpass. So there you go. The results speak for themselves. It will be Godby now working towards middle. Device hasn't had as much impact as he normally does. As we said that though, he does manage to down Godby and fall back as well. That's the kind of picks and plays we usually see from on this map. Opening kills, falling back, knowing exactly where it's safe to do so. Zipex gets a second kill as well, takes on the gear. And it's Kiabi, he's holding the connector, can hit players in front of him. Does he decide to strike? Doesn't have to, could fall back towards the site. Wants to make this work for him though. Those ones go towards bathroom, and he's going to be flanking towards long from what I can see. It's Tabson, gifted a kill on Device. You'd have thought Kiabi, he had the footstep there, he'd give that information that one could be towards bathroom.
I think so, yeah.
He definitely heard him run towards it. But it should be fine, they'll still win the round here. Spots 2, knows he's the last 2 players. How does he pull the trigger?
Now, because they're close to lining up. Oh my goodness.
Gracious.
Kiabi, you're having a stinker, mate.
Yeah, you really do hate to see that. He waited so long to guarantee both frags, but got nothing for it. Like, in that particular scenario, now it's a 2-on-2 as well. Just get the 1 kill and stay alive. Just get yourself in a defensive position. If it's too much range for you to handle, like with the M4, just get 1 and fall back.
Dear God.
Yeah.
If they lose this round, Reddit will have an aneurysm.
So much time as well to get that 1 kill. But here we go, Glaive. I'm kind of rooting for them after that sort of encounter. You'd really hate them to see to lose the round because of that. 10 seconds, that should be it now. Kiev has no choice but to knife out. He has spotted 1. He's going to smoke in and try and plant it, I think. That could be quite smart, but the smoke's a lot of a shallow. Dupree takes him down, so Kiabi can rest easy. And that's did go horribly wrong there. They get the massive advantage. I'm sure we see a replay of this. So he's waiting for the moment they both line up there. He knows exactly where they are. It's the M4, and it's that first shot, the first bullet. Like, it wasn't really unlucky. That was just
back.
It was, yeah, the robots are back. It was just like one of those plays where he's overcooked it. He's gone for the full spray, wants a double spray down. Instead of just guaranteeing that first kill, he's going, right, I'm going to get 15 bullets sprayed down here. They both dropped, but that first shot wasn't good enough. Had to get the dink on the first bullet to guarantee those kills coming in his favour.
Down by Nex already. Another good start for Big.
It seems like the kills Astralis give away at the start. Like, it's decisions they're making that don't have to happen. Like, staying in the fire there just to force an issue there, just to get that first pick, like, just to guarantee it happens, is working against him. Dupree waited there 3-4 seconds. Then when he falls back, he gets repick. He could just fall back straight away there, realise, okay, well, they've taken me out of this situation. Still, though, towards long we go. Big get this frag. Oh, luckily Glaive chimes in as well. 3-on-2. It's Device and Zipex here. Orb in the hands of Device. Zipex does push towards the connector. Bomb's still in towards that playground area. It might start running soon. And Zipex is in the perfect position to shut that down. Here's him. And off he goes.
Yeah, this is perfect. Oh. Doesn't hear him anymore. Knows they're going to be going toward B, though, so Device is at the ready. Hold station, knowing that Zipex is getting closer and closer on the flank with each passing second. Device still hasn't spotted them, though. Knows they're there, but can't get the angle. It's tough when there's smokes down. Goes aggressive. Sees directly below that Legia is there. Finds the shot. Now Zipex has distraction to work his way in, but Tabson's ready for it, and he's arrived late. Better late than never. Never late is better. Device will swap to the AK-47 and try and pull it back. Otherwise, they go 1-1 and a double peek, and he falls into a trench I didn't even know existed.
Double orb set up from Astralis at the start there. Dupree still yet to impress me with that weapon. Does seem to get decent picks when he has to, but this is the play. He decides to try and commit. Then he has to go in front of the fire, though. What's the exit strategy there? Like, he's got nowhere to go. Like, I think he maybe thought he had a gap on the left-hand side, but then when he's scoped up, he's really, really committed. And he goes for it again with a glaive on the secondary AWP. He was an AWPer at his career, at times in his career in Source, so I'm sure we'll see him step up here, but his key to take on Zipex once more. That was towards long. That's the rifle pick. I assume he flashed over and tried to shut down a potential rush, but gives the frag away. And now this could be big finding 2-1. Device, though, from the connector does find Legia. 4-on-4. They'll go for another contact play in the B bomb side. Knowing Device is towards middle, and Dupree and Kiabi, they're at mid as well. It's going to be glaive by himself in the B site. He's not known to be an AWPer. Can he get anything done here? He gets nothing.
Absolutely not.
And it's the last round of overtime as well, so no saving here. No smoke towards heaven, but there it is. It comes through, and Device can't deny the bomb.
Good shot, Dupree. Surprisingly, in the inside of the bags, the smoke dissolved, and he was left completely open. Next, Tapson make up for it, though, and Tapson and Nex close it out as well, giving Big 2 rounds to that of only the one Astralis gained, the first one at that, but still, it's impressive that Big has pulled this all the way back. This is a game. This is absolutely a game. I think Astralis are feeling the pressure. Tapson, you mentioned it, wasn't exactly having one of his best performances that we were used to seeing. He's been hot in the last, I would say, even 10 rounds. He's had massive contribution.
He always seems to step up when required. Just when they're on the precipice of losing, that's when he seems to arrive. And that's always a great asset to have in terms of one of your star players. But there it is, 2-1 for Big on arguably the hardest side, Matt, on the T side of Overpass. Win 1, they've got themselves another set of overtime to work with. Win 2, they actually take down Astralis on Overpass, and that really would be a message now for the Astralis boys as their current form on this map. It seems to have been such a fall from grace. At one point untouchable, and now looking quite poor, if I'm honest. The CT side has not really been impressive for me at all. It's just clumsy pushes and not really having the setups to try and find those first picks anymore. But either way, double up setup here for the Big side. Legia, like I said, they don't usually run this too often, but every now and again you will see it. More so on Overpass. He had a few spells in the B bomb site. Device waiting for this boost to come in, and the fact they're missing it so many times actually helping them out right now. Finally get it in, and they don't get punished for that. And it's not a double kill, but that's, if they watch that back, they're going to be so frustrated, knowing that he was waiting for that boost, and the fact they were fluffing it up so much.
Yeah, within seconds.
He would have killed them. But
it actually works out, yeah, that they missed because then they got the kill immediately after. Kiev got a shot down long in the second player.
That's how you get CS:GO'd right there.
Garby blinded. Garby gets the shot.
Just as he looks away from watching that boost as well, it's so gutting to watch.
Good snapback by Device. But he's still in a 1 versus 4, and it's going to go map point for Big as a result. 1 to go, and Big will upset Astralis on map 1 of a 2-map doubleheader, remember? And a doubleheader meaning that they could be frustrated going into the second map, so Big's going to be laughing all the way to the bank. Maybe. Figurative bank.
Yeah.
But impressive. Again, I'm 11-4 is where we were.
11-4 down. And now a match point in overtime. This would be quite a historic game. Look at the damage inflicted at the start as well. Device sits in the flames once more. Down to 14 HP. Big with short control as well. They've got a huge advantage in terms of health. 2 towards the bathrooms. They swap weapons over. Give God B the AK-47. Interesting. Tapson, an absolute god with that weapon. I guess it's Tapson not holding the one-tap angle. He can use that sunlight in the entrance there to spot shadows. Go towards long. Copy, ready and waiting. Gets one, can't find the second, but Tapson has the bomb, Matt. This is looking very good for him. Not just a flashbang, but down he goes. Recovery time from Astralis. 2 players on sub 10 HP. Next, defending the A-bomb site. Can he do anything about this? Oh, the gap in the smoke is just brutal.
Nice, wins it out though. The gap in the smoke could have been perfect from the CT side. It never works now. It does. Legia finding 2 on an AWP. Said he was a secondary hopper. He's gone primary role in overtime, and this could be it. Astralis, in shocking fashion, are going to drop this map. 3 HP for Dupree. He's going to have to pretty much be gifted. He does, you're right, up against the up, have good position to find Keeve. First shot success, but he's only on 3, remember, so pistols will do, and they know it. They have the call that he's tagged. Like, he doesn't even care about that. He goes to the op. 4 kills for him to win out the game for Big.
One of the most quiet games I've seen from Legear in a long time. He's at the very bottom of the scoreboard, first half, 5 kills or something, and he finishes it off and gets the victory for Big with 4 AWP kills up against it. It looked like Astralis had got that round in their favor, but there it is. Big will take down Astralis on Overpass in overtime. That is not a result anyone expected, and a firm message to Astralis now. They need to work harder on this map. We'll take a break and join the analysts at the desk.